All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Simplifying Healthy Decisions with Dino and Travis. Just a quick shout out. Yesterday was a holiday in the United States called Memorial Day, and it's a day that we celebrate those who paid the ultimate sacrifice to provide us with freedom and safety and health. And so we say thank you to all those soldiers who did that for us. And just a quick shout out to the Wounded Warrior Project. It is something that provides additional resources to some of the warriors and some of the soldiers who have been injured in battle and on the job. And we just want to make sure that they get home safely and also get anything that they need. They provide a lot from prosthetics and to other additional support. So if you have any spare capital sitting around these days, I know it's a little bit difficult, but if you do, Wounded Warrior Project is a great fund, and I highly recommend them. So with that, welcome to another edition. Today we're meeting with Dino, and we're going to be talking about nutrition, something I struggle with, especially during those late night snacks after I've had a bourbon or so. So let's talk a little bit of foundations today, Dino. What do you have for us?
Cool. So yeah, nutrition is really the most important part of it all. So we got to start off small. We got to start off somewhere. And the most important macronutrient, and three main macronutrients are your fats, your carbohydrates, your protein. The most important one is your protein. And there's a reason why I go on and on about getting in protein, more protein, more protein, more protein. Is a few reasons, okay? The first one is going to keep you fuller for longer, okay? So it sends a signal to your brain. You are more satiated when you have protein. So you're less likely to snack on foods, right, that are in your immediate environment that are probably high in fats, high in carbs. Okay, you're just not going to feel like eating those foods. So that's the one advantage. The second thing is when we digest protein, something called the thermic effect of food, we're actually expending energy through that.
Okay,
right? So
one more time. I think you broke
calories.
up a little bit. That your thermic what? What was that called?
Oh, sorry. So when we're digesting protein, the process is called the thermic effect of food.
Thermic effect of food. Okay.
TEF. So the thermic effect of food when we're digesting protein is high, right? So we're burning more calories when we digest protein. The third thing is, and this is a big one, as we get older, our body starts to break down lean muscle tissue. Right? So it's very important that we are consuming enough protein to help rebuild the body, right? And what that is going to do is going to increase our resting metabolic rate slightly as well. A lot of people say, oh, my metabolism's slowing down. It's my metabolism's fault. That's the reason why I'm unable to shift the weight. And yeah, if you have a thyroid problem, then yeah, that is the problem, right? You should go and see a doctor, a professional about that. But for the majority of people, the reality of the situation is they're not holding on to enough lean muscle tissue. And the one thing that you can do in order to prevent the breakdown is consume more protein. And the thing about protein is that you have to make an effort. Like there's no other way. Do you know what I mean? It's not easy. And people that are short for time, it's not convenient for them to consume, to fry a chicken breast or, cook, fish, because it takes time. Whereas carbohydrates, fats, things like that, nuts, all these different things, easy, right? Open the packet, there you go, done. Sandwich, there you go, done. But it's not really benefiting us in the long run. Okay. It takes some thought and it takes a bit of preparation. So now what you want to think about, guys, is you want to make sure that you have protein for each day. So when you go for your food shop, you want to buy enough protein, right? So I'm going to give you an example now. So for a man who say, I don't know, 200 pounds, 6 foot, okay, this man needs on average 3 servings of protein per day And when I say one serving, it should be something like 1.5 chicken breasts or 2 pieces of fish.
Chicken breasts is one serving.
Yes.
Holy moly. Okay.
Yeah, for a man that's 6 foot, 200 pounds. When we're talking eggs, we should do 3 to 4 eggs. We should also put another scoop of protein powder. We should have that throughout the day as well. So I'm just saying 4.
Okay. So this is something I did yesterday, right? So I started this last week based on making healthier decisions. I went out and bought a bunch of chicken tenders, right? So the tenders are basically a half of a chicken breast.
Right.
And I got about, I don't know, a dozen, and I seasoned them up and I grilled them all at the same time. And that way I would have them for not only that meal, but every meal after that. So I did some that were blackened, and that's some Cajun spices, actually really tasty, highly recommended. Did some that were more of a lemon pepper style, but I could use these for wraps, I could use them for salads, I could use them for sandwiches, and so I mixed those in with my meals instead of just grabbing something that was either pre-made or just finding something that was more convenient. And actually it worked out quite well. So that's a recommendation for someone else. Instead of having to cook each meal, you prepare the protein at once, and then you have it for maybe 5-6 different meals.
Yes, that's a very good way of doing things, and just preparing for times when you're going to be busy with work.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I do as well. Like, if you here's the thing, here's a way to do it, and this is just one method. Everyone's different, and some people like to prepare for the whole week. I don't personally like to do that, but if it
couple days
works, it works. A couple of days. So if you're doing dinner, right, you want to make some extra for your lunch the next day, something like that. Because in the morning you can get a shake or do some eggs. That's not going to take that much time. You probably have more time to eat breakfast in the morning, right? Compared to lunchtime, maybe. I don't know. I guess it depends on the person again.
Depends on the schedule. Yeah, depends on the schedule.
Depends on the schedule. But dinner, I think people definitely have a little bit more time because they're finishing the end of their day, or again, depends on the person in the schedule.
Indeed.
So just what I'm trying to say is just pick one of those times, pick one of those meals where you have more time, prepare for the next day. And that's what it's all about, right? Preparing in advance. And that way you're going to have it there in front of you. And guess what you're going to reach out for? You're going to reach out for the chicken tenders, just like Travis did, instead of, I don't know, a sandwich.
Or something. Another thing that I like to do sometimes is get like a tub of barbecue, right? And unfortunately, this might be shredded, might have a whole lot of sauce, which has a whole lot of sugars and a whole lot of carbs in it. And so you just dish out something that's pre-made instead of something that you might have grilled out before instead, right? So a little bit healthier this way, but we'll see where it goes.
So that is the first most important part of this whole process.
Okay. Protein.
Making effort to do that. Protein. And then, you can think about getting a protein shake in, right? If you're really short for time, it's just like your backup, right? If you can't do chicken or fish or whatever it is, then you have your protein shake there ready.
Never been big on the protein shakes.
No. Yeah, some people, again, it's personal preference. Some people like it, some people don't. If you're not into that thing, then obviously you're going to have to make more of an effort to get your protein in from whole foods. And then, once you focus on that, and that is the primary focus inside of each meal, then usually the rest tend to fall in place, right? So you did the chicken fillets. What did you have with the chicken fillets? You had the wraps, you said, right?
Yeah, I do sandwiches, salads, and wraps.
Yeah, and they don't take too long. Right?
No, it's real quick to put together. Especially the salads, you don't even have to warm the chicken breast up, and you just serve it cold.
Exactly.
Yeah, works out pretty well.
So the rest tends to fall in place once you focus on the protein. Apart from that, obviously fresh, or as fresh as you can get it when it comes to the foods, right? I don't know how often people go to the shops in the US or what the situation is, how many times you're out, what's the situation?
Most people go about once a week.
Okay, once a week. So yeah. You're probably going to.
And then some people like me have a small garden out in the back. So we grow cucumbers, tomatoes, jalapenos, cilantro, and a few others.
Okay, that's perfect. If you really can't get to shops, I'm sure they do like food delivery services, right?
Yeah, and they have curbside pickup. So you order it ahead of time, you drive up there, and they bring it out to your car, so you don't have to deal with the mess inside.
Yeah. So there you go. I mean, if you have to, put a notification on your phone, then do that, right? If you have to put a post-it somewhere to remind yourself, then that's what you got to do. But you really need to make an effort to do that, because you also want to think, this isn't just about burning a few extra calories. This is your future. Because if you can do this and preserve this lean muscle tissue, you're going to move better when you're older. We're going to avoid things such as sarcopenia and osteoporosis, right?
Yeah.
So, when you think to yourself, I can't really be bothered, I'd rather have a sandwich, I want you to think future, because your nutrition right now, today, is your future.
Well, you can still make a sandwich as long as the protein is the main portion of it, right?
Yeah. Of course, yeah.
All right. So let me ask you a question. We talked a lot about protein. We haven't necessarily talked much about like fruits and vegetables and other things like that. How do those really factor into the diet from your perspective?
Okay. So to keep things simple, you want to get a variety of different colored vegetables into your diet. I know that's hard for some people. If that's really hard, then you can think about a super greens mix. But when you do go to the supermarket, I want you to think green, orange, purple. What other colors do we have? Red, radish or something. Yeah. So some leafy greens, right? Kale, spinach, broccoli. It doesn't have to be all three. It can just be one of those three. Carrots, your onions, your aubergines, your eggplant, whatever you want to call it. What else? Then you want to think about, I can't think of any other vegetables. Sweet potato.
That's pretty starchy.
Potato. Yeah, that's starchy.
Cucumbers, celery.
Cucumbers, celery, all these different things. You will just want to get a variety. And the easiest way, the easiest way I do things is just do like stir fry, or I'll do a salad, one or the other. And sometimes, I'll cycle it, because I'll get bored of doing salads sometimes. So I'll do stir fry vegetables. And I get bored of that, so I'll just go back to salads, and so on and so forth. And then, if you're really short for time, and you look at your schedule and you think, I'm going to be tight, it's going to be difficult for me, then the best thing that you can do is buy a super green mix. So it's powder, and it contains spirulina and wheatgrass and all these different extracts from vegetables, broccoli, and all these different things. So you can add just one teaspoon, should I say, to your shake or whatever you mix up with, and water. You just drink this, and you're kind of covered. You do want to make sure that you want to get a couple of servings of vegetables, but this is your backup, so to speak.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about we're discussing now more meals than just protein, right? So if you're going to be serving up, say, a big scrumptious chicken breast that's been grilled and seasoned maybe pretty well, what does it look like on rice? What does it look like on beans? What kind of side dishes and things like that? Rice is just a pure carbohydrate, I guess. It's really not good for you, or how does that work?
Okay, so carbohydrates get a bad rap, right?
Yeah, they do.
You've seen things out there saying, carbs contain sugar. And I saw on the BBC once they had all these different carbohydrates out on the table, rice, potato, and they were like, can you guess how many cubes of sugar this is inside a potato, or
okay, yeah.
and then they were like, 3, and no, it's actually 10, and they stacked up like the sugar cubes there.
Yeah.
But it's a different type of sugar, right?
Okay.
It's a natural occurring sugar. It's not going to make you fat as long as you're in a calorie deficit, right?
Okay.
Consuming less and burning more, you're still going to drop body fat. So you can be
Calorie
on a diet.
deficit. So we really have to count our calories. Yes. Okay.
Yeah. You can be on a diet that's 100% carbs. Obviously, I wouldn't recommend that to anyone, but you will still drop weight as long as you're in a calorie deficit. Carbs, we need carbs, because if we don't have carbs, I don't know about people watching this, don't know about you, Travis, but I'm moody. If I don't have some carbs throughout the day, you know, I get upset.
Hangry. You get hangry. Yeah.
Yeah, hangry. Exactly. So, you know, carbs are good. What it should look like on your plate, I mean, again, this depends on the individual and how heavy they are, and male, female, and all these different things. So I'll just use the male example. So 6 foot, 200 pounds. We're thinking, you know, we're looking at, you know, a medium-sized sweet potato, you know, with your protein, something like that. We're looking at 100, 150 grams of rice, something along those lines. If you want to do rice, you know, couscous obviously is less in calories, so you can have more of that. There's some other things, you know, pasta and pizza. This is what I spoke about the other day, and I spoke about the satiety index of different foods, right? And I mentioned carbohydrates. So when we look at boiled potatoes, that is up there on the satiety index, right? So you have boiled potatoes, guess what? You're going to feel full. Whereas if you have bread or whatever it is, you're not going to be as full. So once you've had your dinner, you know, chances will go up that you will be hungry and you're going to want to reach out for snacks.
Oh yeah, so, pasta does that to me every single time. I'm hungry again 2 hours later.
Exactly. So this is also something that you want to think about when it comes to carbs. I'm not saying that you've got to go bodybuilding.com on this, but but it's going to help if you find yourself going over the snacks in the evening. Okay. It's just going to help.
All right. All right. So if you want to wrap up things for us today, when we talk about the basis of nutrition, is there anything else that we need to cover right now, or is there anything else that we want to do to kind of wrap and put a little bow on everything? What does that look
like? I'd say you got to track. You mentioned that, right? You got to track your calories, because I can give people guidelines, but like I said, I'm just using an example. What about if you're a female watching this?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? What are you going to do in that situation?
Female that's 115 pounds is something completely different. Yeah.
You know, compared. So you know, I can't tell people specifically what to do. So it's on the onus of the individual to actually do their due diligence and figure out where they should be positioned on the calorie balance equation. And yeah, that may sound a little bit complex, but all you have to do is go online, find a total daily energy expenditure calculator. Because here's the thing, if you do things via MyFitnessPal, right, MyFitnessPal will, you know, a lot of people go on MyFitnessPal and there's a bunch of questions. And MyFitnessPal asks you, how much weight would you like to lose? And people obviously like, oh, I want to lose 5 pounds per week, or, you know, something crazy, right? So it's going to give you an unrealistic target.
Okay.
Right? So
that's fair.
You're going to have to do things manually. You're going to have to go onto total daily energy expenditure calculator. Okay. Make sure you're using the Harris-Benedict equation. Okay, plug your statistics in there, and I can put a link below this video wherever you're using.
Yeah, let's do that, because my head's spinning right now on all these acronyms.
So, yeah, I'll just
send it to me. I'll add it to the video for everybody. Yeah, we'll get it.
Go in there, input your stats. It's going to give you a number. Whatever that number is, and for most people, they want to drop body fat, you want to be eating less than that number, consuming less calories than that number, and a realistic deficit would be something, especially if you're new to this, would be something along the lines of 500 to 600 calories less than that number. Now, you then go onto MyFitnessPal and you use MyFitnessPal to make sure you're hitting that. So that's what the tool is for. You want to make sure you're hitting that, and also you want to take a look and say, and ask yourself, okay, what do I need to change? Why am I not hitting my numbers? Do I have to add some more protein? Which that is the case for a lot of people. So that's the way you have to go about it. I know it sounds complex. It's easy. You just
This is supposed to be simplifying healthy decisions. Dino.
I know. Sorry, but there's no. There's
no easy way about it, people. That's his point. So we're going to simplify things for you. We're going to give you the links. We're going to give you everything that you need.
Exactly.
So we're going to guide you to the water, but we can't make you drink. That's going to be up to you.
Exactly. Perfect analogy. Yeah.
All right.
That's it. That's what I would finish off with.
All right. Perfect. Appreciate your time today, Dino, and we'll see you again next week.
Time, Travis.
All right.
Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely.
Have a good day.